quiet village by the river. Suddenly, the water dries up and a monster appears, taking the lives of the innocent villagers. To save them, two come forward, one, a proud magician, and the other, a naive monk holding a children's rhyme book. Who would you trust? When the rhymes don't work, a crazy lover with magic shows up on stage. But the real player in this battle isn't any of them. It's San Wukong, the legendary Monkey King who's been trapped for 500 years. How love, betrayal, and ultimate sacrifice come together to transform this foolish monk, that wise guy. Tang Sang made it happen. Let's check out this unbelievable story of defeating a monster with a rhyming book. The story starts in a peaceful fishing village. A little girl was playing by the lake while her dad was getting ready to fish. He took his net and stepped into the water. The girl began to cry because she felt sad that her dad was going into the water to work and leaving her alone on the shore. He made some funny faces and silly gestures that made the girl laugh and cheer up. Suddenly, the dad started trembling in the water. From below, something was pulling him. He was being dragged into the deep water. The girl was still smiling, thinking her dad was just playing around. She didn't realize her dad was in real danger until he completely disappeared and blood started floating on the surface. The villagers thought the man had been eaten by the river monster. So, they collected money and called a Taoist priest to drive the monster away. The priest, with his chants, caught a huge catfish as a sacrifice and declared the danger was over. But there was a young monster hunter named Soen Jong was passing through with music playing and felt that some evil forces were still around. He warned the villagers that the big fish wasn't the real monster, and that the danger in the water wasn't over yet. But the proud villagers were influenced by the arrogant priest and refused to listen to Soen Jong. Instead, they got mad at him, beat him up badly, and as punishment, tied him up in the village center with music playing. The villagers thought the water was safe now, so everyone went swimming. But their fun didn't last long at all. Suddenly, the river monster showed up and swallowed a woman whole. The villagers got scared and started running in all directions, thinking they'd be safe if they stayed away from the water. But they were wrong. The river monster stuck its long tongue out and started grabbing them one by one. The girl tried to run toward her mother, but the monster's tongue caught her. The villagers pulled with all their might and finally managed to cut the tongue. They dragged the girl all the way to the shore. But in no time, the river monster jumped out of the water and swallowed her whole. Her mother. He went crazy. To save his daughter, he jumped into the water. Meanwhile, Suyang was trying to cut the ropes to free himself. Inside the water, the mother got terrified and froze when she came face to face with the river monster. The river monster looked at her angrily. She cried and begged, pleading for her child to be returned. But the monster didn't listen and swallowed her too. Then the river monster started smashing the surrounding buildings, causing the villagers to lose their balance and slip toward the river. A child was sliding into the water, but just in time, Suyang got free. He jumped onto the floating piece of wood, and just before the child fell off, he caught them. Right then, the river monster showed up again, taking advantage of the monster's heavy weight. Swanjiang managed to escape with the child at the last moment. The monster got stuck on the wood. He returned the child to their mother. Meanwhile, the scared priest was hiding in the crowd. Suddenly, a chubby woman started running in panic. With every step she took, the ground seemed to shake like an earthquake because of her weight. The end. He jumped onto the river monster and threw it into the air using a piece of wood. The monster landed right on top of the priest who was running fast. After coming out of the water, the river monster quickly started to weaken. Suddenly, it transformed into an ordinary young man. Without wasting a second, Sonjang pulled out his trusted book of 300 poems, which his master had given him to tame monsters. He began singing a lullaby with deep focus, hoping it would awaken the monster's good nature. But that innocent song, it didn't have any effect. Instead, the monster screamed in anger and lunged straight at Swanjang. At the last moment, a sorrowful girl hunter stepped in between. She was Miss Doan. With a quick attack, she trapped the river monster in a snare and imprisoned it inside a doll-like object. The villagers, saved from death, dropped to their knees, thanked Miss Doan, and called her a heroine. But Miss Doan had no patience for Swanjang's foolish ways. She openly mocked him, saying, trying to kill a monster with a rhyme. Their profession had a bad reputation. After the incident, Swanjang returned to his master with his broken confidence. even though he was a demon hunter. He felt ashamed that he couldn't protect the villagers. His wise old master stayed calm and reminded him of their community's core belief. The goal of demon hunting wasn't to kill the demons, but to remove the evil from their hearts and guide them toward the right path. Fired up and eager to learn, Soanjang set out again to find a way to defeat the bored demon that was still causing trouble for the people. Soon, Soanjang arrived near a hotel in a village. Earlier, a young couple had come there to eat but mysteriously disappeared. The real truth was that the hotel's owner, who was actually a pig demon, had killed and eaten them. When Soanjang entered the hotel, it seemed full of happy people eating. Then a woman warmly welcomed him, but Soanjang immediately felt something was off. The other customers were actually the reanimated corpses of the demon's victims. There wasn't a drop of blood, just some teeth stained with it. The weapons of the bored demon lay scattered around. Just then, Miss Stone walked back into the hotel without a second thought and wiped out those zombie-like servants, and she dusted off the demon's puppets. The bored demon revealed himself in human form. The bloated music cook had a terrifying grin on his face. Doan and Swan Jiang fiercely attack him, and Doan trapped the demon in his magical pouch. She planned to imprison him inside another puppet, but the boar demon was very powerful. It burst out. He came out and turned into a huge boar demon. Then he destroyed the entire hotel. Overwhelmed by his immense power, Su Yanzhang and Miss Duan had no choice but to flee to save their lives. After escaping, Miss Duan was really impressed by Su Yanzhang's courage and selflessness. Even though he wasn't very skilled, he showed bravery in the face of evil, and that won her heart. She quickly fell in love with him. She openly expressed her feelings and tried to get close to him whenever she could. But Su Yanzhang was afraid of love. He was only focused on all humanity. He wanted to spread love everywhere, but he saw romantic love as a barrier to liberation or enlightenment. Whenever she came near, he'd get scared and actually run away from her. Soanjang explained to his teacher that he only wanted to spread love to everyone, not romantic love. But his clever teacher realized Soanjang was confused about Miss Doan. He told him that Soanjang's words didn't match what was in his heart and then advised him to go to the Five-Finger Mountain. There, he was to seek help from the Monkey King Sun Wukong, who was imprisoned by Buddha Shaw. The guru believed that with Yukong's help, Suanjang would eventually be able to tame the pig demon. Following this advice, Suanjang set off towards the Five-Finger Mountain. Suddenly, a group of people attacked. Surprisingly, they also captured Miss Duan. But this was all part of Miss Duan's plan. She had staged the entire attack herself, hoping that Joan Jong would come to her rescue and that they would finally fall in love. After everything, Joan Jong stayed away from her and rejected her once again. In a fit of anger and sadness, Ms. Dowan lost his temper and took Joan Jong captive himself. He tied him up until he calmed down. Just then, the boar demon suddenly returned and angrily attacked their camp. He recognized Miss Duan as the one who had hurt him. At that tense moment, 3 more demon hunters showed up. Their flashy names were Five Stars Fist, Almighty Post, and Prince. Seeing the chance to take down the famous boar demon, they fought him a bit and managed to chase him off for the time being. After all the chaos, seeing Joan Jong so worried, Miss Duan couldn't help but feel concerned too. He took it as love. He thought, finally, she cares about him. He expressed his feelings again, hoping for a different answer this time. But Zhuanzhang refused again. Heartbroken and angry, Miss Doan tore apart Zhuanzhang's favorite book of 300 poems right in front of him. She left him completely disappointed. The torn pages scattered on the ground. After this painful moment, Zhuanzhang continued his journey alone. He went through many hard days searching for the Monkey King. Finally, he reached the Five-Finger Mountain, a peaceful place filled with blooming lotuses. In the valley, he found a hidden cave sealed with a stone slab. Inside, he discovered the legendary demon king Sun Wukong, who had been imprisoned beneath Buddha's seal for 500 years. That strange face was none other than Sun Wukong himself, disguised in human form. Wukong happily explained how he ended up there. 5 centuries ago, he was the Monkey King who caused havoc in heaven, and Buddha punished him by imprisoning him under a mountain. Now, Wukong pleaded with Zhu Zhong to free him from captivity. The opportunity, Zhongxian made a deal. He said he would consider freeing Wukong. But first, Wukong had to deal with that pig demon who was causing chaos on Earth. Zhongxian didn't know Miss Duan was secretly following him. She was worried Zhongxian was making a risky deal with Wukong. But she was against letting Wukong go and decided to help. Acting as an ally, Wukong came up with a plan. Since the pig demon was greedy in his past life, Wukong could use that against him. Without hesitation, Miss Duan started an enchanting dance under the moonlight, hoping to attract the boar demon. Her plan worked. The demon came out, drawn by the dance and song. At that moment, Wukong unleashed his power and easily defeated the boar demon. In no time, Miss Duan pulled out her magical pouch and captured the weakened demon, trapping him inside a small doll. Just like the river demon before, Miss Duan was overjoyed. She held two. Pudel gave Zhongxiang a gift. Then, shyly, she took off the gold ring from her finger and proposed to Zhongxiang. She also took out Zhongxiang's poetry book, which she had painstakingly repaired after it was torn, although she couldn't read it and the pages were haphazardly put back together. It was heartfelt. Through these sincere gestures, Miss Duan hoped Zhongxiang would finally admit his love. But he rejected her love once again. Determined to stop her, Zhongxiang picked up a stone and took off the gold ring. He wanted to hit part of his finger to make it fall off. This completely broke Miss Duan. Heartbroken, Zhu started crying. When she left, Juanzhang felt deep regret. Meanwhile, Wukong was quietly watching. Wukong pretended to be sympathetic. He tricked Juanzhang into tearing off the patch at the cave entrance. Unknowingly, Juanzhang removed the last seal that was imprisoning the Monkey King. With a wicked grin, Wukong stepped out of the cave. After 5 centuries, he was free and immediately revealed his true form, clad in golden armor. We are a bunch of angry monkey demons. Sanzang screams in fear, saying even outside the cave, Wukong can't escape the Buddha's reach. Hearing Buddha's name, Wukong gets even angrier. With a powerful blow, he throws Sanzang aside. Sanzang is badly hurt, lying on the ground trembling. Then Wukong grabs Sanzang by the hair and pulls it out from the roots. He rips all the hair off Sanzang's head. In an instant, Sanzang falls to the ground bloody and completely naked like a beggar monk. Just then, 3 demon hunters dramatically appear. They have a reputation for defeating the Monkey King. They went desperate to get power. They fought with their best tactics, but Wukong was way stronger than them. Wukong easily wiped them out. With one roar, he burned their bodies to ashes. He completely destroyed them. Defeating the hunters only boosted Wukong's pride even more. He was about to finish off the injured Xuanzang when suddenly Miss Duan came back. She jumped in front to save Xuanzang. She mocked Wukong and drew his anger onto herself. Wukong was completely furious at her. He attacked with full force. Miss Duan fought bravely but couldn't match him. Miss Duan was close to death. Xuanzang finally realized how much he loved her. Holding her in his arms with tears in his eyes, he admitted he had always loved her. Miss Duan smiled softly and rested her head on his chest. She turned into golden sparks in the air. Overwhelmed with grief, Xuanzang clutched the book of stitched poems and, as he looked closely, realized the scattered pages had transformed into the great teachings of Buddha's light. At that moment, a flash of wisdom lit up inside him. The sacred scripture was read with a true heart, praying for divine help. Suddenly, a beam of light from the sky burned down. Buddha's huge hand came down and slammed Wukong to the ground, pinning him down. When the dust settled, Wukong was trapped and couldn't move. Xuanzang calmly stepped forward and took the golden ring from Miss Duan. He placed it on Wukong's head. The ring shrank and turned into a golden headband. From that moment on, Shonu Kong became Xuanzang's disciple. Through pain and loss, Xuanzang gained true wisdom. He realized that only by facing pain and addiction head-on can you truly give everything up. His guru named him Tangshanang. Now he was a monk, someone who would journey west. After Tangshanang, he set off on a famous journey westward with his 3 reformed demon disciples. The river demon became Sha Yujing. The pig demon turned into Zubaji. And the humble Monkey King remained as Shonu Kong. And that's where the movie's story ends. So friends, how did you like this story? Was Su Yanzhong right for Miss Duan's self-sacrifice? Let me know what you think.